How do? It's been a few weeks on it since I've done this, probably over a month now. I just haven't had time to. Well, it's either been really blistering hot, and because I'm in the attic, it's like the hottest part of the house anyway. It's either been like that, or I've just not had time to come up and do anything really. So another pickups video. I know it's been all I've been doing lately. I have got other things. I am going to do other things at some point, but it's like a sort of struggle between not really having time and not really feeling like anyone gives a shit if I make different content. So I'm sure I'll get out of that. But yeah, I've got other things planned. I've got something a little bit Evercade centric I've been wanting to do for a while. I might start in the next few months. I don't know whether to wait till November when I've got something coming in the post, or whether to start it now or not. But yeah, the room tour is also coming, I promise. It's just that every time I come up here, something changes. I want to move something around. At the minute, over that side you can see a little bit of it next to me there. This side is a bomb site, this side of the room, and there's a bed settee, a futon, Nath's bed, Nath Retro 1, because he was the one of only 3 people to sleep on it, and he was the first. That's going, because it takes up a shitload of room and I never even sit on it, never mind about sleep on it. So it's going, and a TV unit's getting set up over there, and we had to get a new TV for the living room. The old TV wasn't fit for purpose as the main TV in the house, but it's still fine for in here, so I've got that TV to set up. And yeah, once all that's sorted out, there is going to be a room tour / setup tour kind of thing. But for now, it's just pickup central, isn't it? These are semi-recent pickups from like not the last couple of weeks, but probably the few weeks before that. A little bit of giftage. Well, it's not really giftage, just like buying from not even a fellow tuber, just buying from somebody on the scene at mates rates. A bit of Grail collecting, bit of Evercade, bit of sales stuff, and a couple of pre-orders. And a bit of non-gaming stuff as well, actually. I think I'm just going to chuck in there. Yeah. So yeah. Super smashing great. We'll start with non-gaming stuff, shall we? I've started buying Lego for my sins. I'm trying to keep to a certain subset of Lego because I don't really want to be going over the top with it and having... It's only a small house we live in, and basically every surface we've got in the house is covered. Every corner of the room is covered in shelves and stuff that are all full. So I don't really want to be getting big sets of Lego, but I've seen these little like mech sets where it's like there's Marvel, DC and Star Wars mechs with like a little character sat in them. I think they do a couple of others, like I think there's some Fortnite ones and a Lego Ninjago ones, I don't know, but I don't really care about those. It's just the Marvel and DC and Star Wars ones I'm into, and I only really like the Star Wars ones because some of them have got lightsabers, otherwise I won't be bothered. But yeah, I've started getting those. It's just really nice and cathartic building these little guys, and it's like building your own action figures, which is really cool. My first 2 that I picked up, I've picked up 6 in total. I got these from Morrison's, just randomly. I just saw them and thought, ooh, they're cool, I'll have them. And I picked up this like Iron Man one, which is pretty sweet. He's got a little gun arm thing that actually fires the pellets, but I'm not going to because they're tiny and they'll ping off in all directions. The guys in the top are supposed to sit down, but I like them standing up with their arms out. I don't know why, I just think it shows them off better. And his little mask lifts up. He's got an alternate face on the other side of his head as well, but I'm not going to show you that one. That came obviously with the Iron Man figure in the top, and also this little Ultron figure, again with a minifig, I think they call them. And I picked up this Superman one, which I kind of struggle with why Superman would need a mech suit, but there it is. Again, he's got an angry face behind his hair, but I'm not going to show you that. And it also came with this. I've not been playing with him, honestly. I was holding him by the head. This little Lex Luthor. I nearly said Lex Luger then. Lex Luthor. He's got a little kryptonite thing and a little kryptonite gun that also fires, and I'm also not going to fire it. The only way I could make him hold him was holding him by the top of his head, which is not very in keeping with Superman's character, is it? But you know, hey ho. Could be Injustice Superman, you never know. Susie bought me a couple. She bought me this cool little Spider-Man one. And that came with a anti-Venom of all characters minifig as the bad guy. And the other one she bought me was this one, which is probably my favourite one, which is this Venom. Oh, look at his hands. How monster is that? How monster is that? How monstery? How... You know what I mean. And he's got this little Miles Morales Spider-Man that he's holding. He holds it really well because of the way how he's got like a little sort of stud piece there, so you can just clip that into the back of Miles Morales' leg, and he holds him really well. That's pretty cool. And then the other two that I bought, and like I said, I only wanted the Star Wars ones because of the lightsabers, because the lightsabers look really cool. I think this one's a fairly new one, because it just randomly appeared in Sainsbury's, and I'd not seen it on Amazon when I was looking through. And that's Darth Maul, who is, I'm not the hugest Star Wars character fan in the world, but Darth Maul is my favourite Star Wars character. It's nice double-handed lightsaber. He's got his own lightsaber as well. He just clips to the back of the thing. I couldn't not get that when I saw it, because like I said, he is my favourite character in Star Wars. I always, on the rare occasion we do play Star Wars Monopoly, I'm always Darth Maul. And then this one I picked up from Morrison's again. It's a Luke Skywalker, and he's like X-Wing mech suit, which is cool. One of his wings has gone wonky. Again, the gun fires, but I'm not going to fire it. Star Wars ones didn't come with anybody else, but you know, the suits are generally more intricate, and you know, they've got more accessories and stuff. So yeah, that's just a new thing I've been getting. I'm going to try and keep it to one a month, just because I don't want to go too nuts. You know how hard it is to fall down the rabbit hole and stuff like that. But yeah, I just think they're cool. Once I get my new TV set up, I'm going to get some like, you know, some of the flat pieces and just have them all stood across there. Hopefully they'll not obstruct the screen. And I'm also, whenever I go to like Christmas markets and stuff, there's always someone there selling like just minifigs. And I think I'm going to start like getting Marvel and DC minifigs just to go with them. Just to like line up across the front of my TV unit. I think that'd be cool. Hey Gabby! What's up? Did you suddenly sense I was trying to do something and decide you're going to talk over me? She has those endorphin shits that cats have. Look it up, it's a real thing. Whenever she goes for a cronk, she has to like yell about it for a bit afterwards. Apparently it's a thing where it releases endorphins, but yeah, we'll not get onto that. The other Lego set I got, and I'm sure you'll have already seen all this in the past, but yeah, I picked up this Lego bunny thing at Easter from Morrison's. It was fairly cheap, but for the reason being, it wasn't to build the bunny. Oh shitting hell, this is coming apart because it's insanely fragile. I don't like gluing Lego, but you know, I just don't like the idea of it. But I think I'm going to have to with this because it's very fragile. But I used this set to build this alternate thing that I saw on the internet, and I'm sure you'll have all seen it by now, but it's this alien facehugger. Here I go. Gabby's come. Very, very fragile. I need to at least glue its front legs and probably the side legs on as well, and then I'm just going to have it posed somewhere in my room. But it's really cool. To say that someone just saw the pieces of that rabbit and came up with this, it's crazy. Tail moves and everything. So yeah. Was quite an easy build, but I think they must have changed some of the pieces inside in the set since the alternate instructions were created, because I had to improvise slightly when the pieces weren't there. Whoa! You wanna come see your people, eh? Oh. Gabby's here. she's not just a disembodied voice. I thought I'd show you what she actually looks like. It's been a while. I suppose the only other non-gaming thing I bought was, just for the fact that I saw it at Morrison's and it was £2, a Velociraptor. I think it's Blue, is it they call it, from the Jurassic World films. Dog shit films. I say that like I've seen the last one, I haven't, but is there 2 I've not seen now? I saw Jurassic World and Jurassic World 2 and they were both crap. So yeah, I've just not moved on, but yeah, I just saw this. I thought it was cool. It was the only Velociraptor on the shelf. The rest were all kind of dinosaurs that no one knows what they are. And I just thought it'd be cool to just hang on my monitor like that, just poking over the top. Dun, 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 dun. And I was right, it is. So on to gaming stuff. I like to get Evercade stuff out of the way first because I know not everybody's interested. So yeah, they're just the last 2 Evercade games that came out. This one is rolling away. This one is, in my opinion, an absolute blinder, and that's the Gremlin Collection 2, which features Loaded, Reloaded, Hogs of War, and Buggy, all PS1 games. Well, you know, the Loaded was on the Saturn as well, but you know, Loaded and Reloaded are really cool top-down, like, multi-directional shooters. Reloaded was one of the first games I got on my PS1, actually. Really good game. Hard as hell. Hogs of War is like a 3D third-person answer to Worms, and it's done it far better than the actual 3D attempt from Team 17. It also features the voice of the late great Rick Mail, absolute comedy legend. I grew up watching Bomb and Young Ones and Filthy Rich and Catflap. Buggy, I only played a little bit of back in the day, but I think I had a demo or something, but I remember it being like really fun, sort of arcade racer kind of thing, so just an absolute winner of a cartridge. This one's a weird one, and it's Windjammers, Karnov and Friends, and it's just random arcade games, I think, that just wouldn't fit elsewhere in a set. So it's got Windjammers, which is like a sort of competitive frisbee game, I think. Atomic Runner Chelnov, Rogue Armour Force, Karnov, and Vapor Trail Hyper Offense Formation. Not a lot of games I know about on there. It's not a stellar collection, is it? I'll probably try most of them. None of them look offensive to me. The only one I've played in the past is Windjammers. So yeah, a really good set, and a set that I feel like they could have done without. And the packing item, because usually when you buy a pack of 2, when you get the new release cartridges, they do them in a bundle with a packing item. And that's a new mug with this awesome sort of pixelated roomscape kind of thing going on. They've used this imagery for a lot of Evercade stuff lately, and I really like it because it's like, there's just little Easter eggs all over the place. There's Chun-Li and Duke Nukem, you can see there. There's over here, there's a Tomb Raider poster. Don't know if it's on the mug, but there's a Legacy of Kain one somewhere. No, didn't make the cut. But yeah, it's a really cool design for a mug. I won't use it because I don't want to ruin the print on it by washing it and stuff. So I will just keep it to one side and just have it on my Evercade shelf. So it was the latest Doncaster market a few weeks back, and I was going, but then I didn't go. I went to the last one, which was not long before Christmas, I don't think. Was it before or just after Christmas? But yeah, I went to it and nobody else went, and it was such a boring thing going around it. I ended up spending most of my time stood behind Eddie and Dylan's stall, just talking to them, and then just went home. There were a couple of people there, but it was basically everybody was just selling, and no one was buying anymore. No one was punting. So it's took a lot of the fun out of these events for me, really. And I was going to go to Doncaster because Sean said he was going, but then Sean he went camping instead. So I just didn't bother going. I thought, even Eddie wasn't even going as a seller this time, so I couldn't even go and hang out with him anymore this time. It would have literally been a 2-hour trip there on public transport, probably a 20-minute walk around, and then 2 hours back. So I just opted not to go. Instead, I went on Vinted. It's the first time I looked on Vinted. I'd just seen a couple of other people say they were using it. I picked up 2 of the things that I've been looking for at these markets for the last couple of years and never found, which is 2 sort of grails towards my Yakuza full set that I'm going for. And they are the PSP games, the Japan only, the Koryu set. So that's Koryu. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing that or anything. And Koryu 2. Which are like side stories to the Yakuza / like a Dragon series. I've been hoping to find them in person, you know, at a market, but never found them. So it's nice to have them. They're absolutely mint condition. I got this for 30 quid for the two of them. They've got all the gubbins inside. Look at all that crap. There's like maps, books. This has even got like a sort of sticker. I think it's a sticker. All that kind of thing. The UMDs are in mint condition, so I think I got a bargain there for 30 quid. So that's my haul from Doncaster that I didn't go to. This week it's the Sheffield market, which nobody's going to again, but it's my hometown, so you know, it's instead of like 2 trams, a train and a bus each way, which is what it would be. Well, either 2 trams or a tram, a train and a bus each way to go to Doncaster, like a 4-hour round trip. It's literally just 20 minutes away on a tram for me, so it's even though no one's going, it'd be rude not to, and I've been waiting for him to do one in Sheffield for years, so I'm really looking forward to that one. I'm going even though I'm going to be on my lonesome. And then the week after it's Barnsley, Christmas market, gaming market, which I feel like it's going to fall flat on its arse because I think they've been overcharging. They're definitely overcharging for customers to get in. I think they're overcharging for sellers too, so I don't think it's going to be a massive success. But me and Sean, Retro Games Road, are going to get in the old Sean mobile and head up to Barnsley, see what it's like. It'd be nice to actually have someone to walk around with for a change. So yeah, my next pickups will likely be a combination of the two of them. This next lot, it's sorry, this is a very rambly one, isn't it? We're going 20 minutes and I've barely shown anything. Yeah, this next lot, I bought these from. I'm not even sure how he's in the scene because I know he's not a YouTuber. He's on Instagram. It's Peter Johnson. I think Eddie said he was a Sega Saturn Master System full set collector. Back in the day, and yeah, he's in the 52 game challenge, the Club 52 chat on WhatsApp, which is how I've met him. He was just getting rid of some of his old stuff that he didn't want anymore, selling them on for CEX prices plus shipping, and then he ended up doing me slightly cheaper than that basically, because the CEX prices for all these games have been £29. He just did it for me for 30 shipped, which is great. I bought them off him, completely forgot about them, and then I had this pop through, this limited run box, and I was like, I don't remember ever ordering anything from limited run, because I haven't, and I'm likely never to, unless the new Scott Pilgrim game doesn't come out anywhere else. So I'm kind of thinking I should keep this box just because I'm likely to never see one again. But yeah, I was like, I've not ordered anything from limited run, and then I opened it up and realised it was the games I bought from Peter Johnson. So yeah, sorry if I'm butchering your name by any chance. If you do watch this by any chance, Peter, don't know if it's Peter or Peder or what. But I'm just saying how I read it is Peter, and I'm sorry if that's wrong. Yeah. Anyway, the games I picked up. A couple of cheapy stuff that I've just been wanting to pick up. The stuff off my persistent Amazon wish list that I keep just to keep track of games that I want to buy at some point. This one wasn't on it because I thought I had it, but it turns out I didn't. I'm surprised I didn't have it because I've got all the other games in this series, including all 3 versions of the second one. That's Soul Calibur 6. I would have ordinarily bought this on the PlayStation, but he was offering it on the Xbox, and you know what? I think I'm actually going to shift to collecting, at least sort of semi-retro wise. I'm loath to call the Xbox One retro, but it's getting there, isn't it? But yeah, from that generation, I think I'm going to shift my focus onto Xbox One and Xbox Series X for cheaper games. Just simply because I've got a very small collection of Xbox games, and I should probably, expand it a little bit. If the offerings are cheaper, it doesn't really affect me gameplay wise because they're not too different, is it? It'd be nice to have more green on my shelf. So yeah, I think. Oh, also because of the Game Pass effect, games tend to be slightly cheaper on the Xbox if they're on Game Pass. So yeah, we're moving more onto the green brand. So yeah, Soul Calibur 6. It's the one with because they always have a guest character or two or three, or I think with Soul Calibur before there was like 7 of them, because there was the Star Wars ones and then there was a couple of anime characters as well. But yeah, Soul Calibur 6, the guest character is Geralt from The Witcher, which is cool. And basically I'm waiting until I've got my setup over there. One of the consoles I'm going to have permanently set up will be my Xbox One, so I'm going to get into that when I can. Another one was Destroy All Humans. It's a series I've never played. They always kind of looked cool on the PS2, but when the remakes came out, I decided then that I was going to get the remakes, and still haven't. So yeah, get a bit of carpet mouth and it's going to drink. And I also bought Bulletstorm Full Clip Edition, which I did play back in the day, the original one on the Xbox 360. Fantastic game, very good. You know, it's got the best, most creative use of swearing I've ever heard in a game. Again, I plan to get on the PS5, maybe 4 or 5. I can't remember if it was on the 5 or not. But this was available. You know, this was offered up on the Xbox, so why not? And the last one I picked up for him was more expensive than the other 3 combined, but it's Transformers Devastation, which is the Transformers game by Platinum Games, which, you know, Platinum Games, they are hit and miss, but more often hit. And this one I got digitally on the PS3 when it first came out, and it was a lot of fun to play. So the PS4 version on disc is cool to have. Not a lot of transforming goes on. It's not like the other games where you can like transform and drive around and then transform back into the robot for combat sequences. This is like your sort of Devil May Cry Bayonetta style combat game, and your characters sort of, like, as you're doing combos, your characters will transform mid-combo, and like, say like you're playing as Optimus Prime, you like do a couple of punches and kicks, then you'll turn into a truck and run them over and stuff like that. It's really cool. It's very fast paced. To say it's like Gen 1 Transformers, it's very fast paced and frenetic combat. A lot of fun. You know, it's kind of what you'd expect from a Platinum game, isn't it? Like I said, the 3 of them, he sent me £30 shipped. To buy it from CEX, that would have cost me £30 anyway, just for that, so really cool that he'd done that. I very much appreciate it. The first of a couple of pre-orders that come in was Soul Reaver. Where is my tongue today? I don't know. Soul Reaver 1 and 2 remastered on the PS5. This has got a bit of a saga for me, because at first it looked like the physical copies were just coming from Limited Run, and they did like a £200 edition, which had like one of the things I do collect. I don't really talk about much because I don't get them much, thanks to knife crime and stuff. You don't find them in shops very often, but I collect letter openers and paper knives. And my absolute grail would have been to get a Soul Reaver letter opener, because I love Legacy of Kain. It's one of my favourite franchises of all time. And this £200 version on Limited Run had one of those in, but I didn't know if it was metal or plastic. Didn't know when it was going to come out, because, you know, Limited Run, they just take your money and we'll send you game whenever. It's one of the reasons why I don't like them as a company. So I was a bit iffy on that, and when the just general release came out, I decided to cancel my Limited Run order, and I went for just a standard version of this on the Switch, because most of what you get in the extras, it's like a music CD and a lot of cardboard stuff. So I didn't deem the difference in price to be worth it. But then I think the price went down for the sort of collector's edition, at least the standard collector's edition, the non-limited run one. So I cancelled my order and went for that, and then I suddenly got the ick about the Switch version, because a lot of like Switch games, a lot more demanding ones I've been playing lately, have been bad on the hardware, and I didn't know if it would run better on the Switch 2 or not. I didn't really want to take a gamble. So I cancelled the Switch version and ordered the PS5 version, which is what I've got now. Apparently it does run great on the Switch, actually, but, you know, this was a game that meant so much to me that I didn't want to have it sort of running subpar. So yeah, out of the box you have the standard version of the game, which is just a standard game case, but it also comes with the steelbook, which is absolutely gorgeous. Just hold it out like that, nice and shiny. My mate Max, he likes Switch inner box art, so but I'm sure this will tickle him as well because he's also a massive Legacy of Kain fan. Inside the steelbook, you've got this really cool sort of diorama of Kain in the time streamer chamber. And on top of that, normally I don't really look at art books very much because I'm not really that interested, but this one I have looked through every page because it's Legacy of Kain and I love the art. Just this awesome Soul Reaver art book. That's the back cover, which also forms the front cover when you've got it in the box. Just, you know, really cool concept art, stuff like that. I'm not going to go through it all, but yeah, it's a nice art book, really nice art book. If you like, you know, if you like me and you love Legacy of Kain. And then not one but two soundtrack CDs in this cardboard fold-out case. I don't even own a CD player, I'm not going to lie. So that was probably the least impressive thing in the box for me, but it's a really nice set for the price. I think it was like £40 something, £46, something like that. And at the end of the day, I think I'd have kicked myself if I didn't get that at least. I'm still kicking myself for not getting the limited run one, but I just don't like the company, I don't like the practice, I don't like the way they falsify rarity by not bringing out enough things. It's nice that they're bringing out games that wouldn't ordinarily get a general release, but when games are getting general releases, I don't really understand why they're bringing it out as well and sticking a number on it just to make it more desirable for collectors. But hey ho, I'm so glad to have that in my collection. I've played through both of them already. Fantastic games still, especially the first one. The second one was a little bit of a slog to get through by the end of it, but the second one was always my least favourite game in the series, even after Blood Omen 2. So yeah, I really hope they do one with Blood Omen 2 and Legacy of Kain Defiance on now. That would be my absolute monster of a grail. But we'll see what happens. Yeah, after that, there was we're getting near the end, don't worry. A couple of sales on the game collection, which has become my new favourite website for buying games. Amazon have been a bit flaky with the pre-orders lately. It's like, you pre-order it and they'll like... In fact, with this Legacy of Kain one, actually, I had it on pre-order and they're like, it came out on a Friday, I think, and they were like, you'll have it by Monday. But when the Friday actually came around, if I ordered it that morning, I'd get it that evening. So I cancelled my pre-order and ordered it Friday morning. I got it Friday evening. So what the hell? What's all that about? What's the point in pre-ordering it if you're not going to get it on release day? I don't know. So yeah, I've been moving more onto the game collection because they're just generally a more reliable service, even though you have to pay up front for games. But you know, all goes on the credit card, and then I pay that off when I can. I bought 5 games on this sale that they had going on. There were 2 different sales. One was just cheapy games, just your standard sale. So I treated myself to, and this is completely related to something earlier. I would have picked this up, but it just happens that I got the first game in the series from Peter. I got Destroy All Humans 2. It's going to have a bit of glare because it's still sealed. Again, don't really know much about this, but I've got both of them now, which is cool. Again, Xbox. Got a bit of Xbox. This got a bit of Xbox goodness to boost my collecting. This one's from a recommendation from Gib84 Gaming on YouTube. He's been playing it. He said it's really good. I've always been put off because it's a tactical role-playing game, but it's also, you know, it looks cool. And even if I don't have it, I only spent like a tenner on it. So even if I don't like it, and can't get on with it, I only spent a tenner on it. That's Marvel's Midnight Suns, which is like a sort of... I think the comics like more like people like Blade and Ghost Rider and stuff. You're more sort of magical, sort of darker heroes. But on this one, they've got like people like Iron Man and Wolverine in it and stuff. But yeah, it's sort of a more darker Marvel story, and it looks pretty deep. And it's like sort of like I don't know. It's got Dragon Age vibes to me. Like you start your own character. You're not one of the Marvel characters, and on top of like being part of the team and doing missions and stuff, you also you know bond with the team. I think there might be romance options, I'm not sure, but you know, see where that goes. And on the PS4, this one's Roller or Eddie Graves' sort of recommendation. I think he recommended it to Sean, but I don't know if he's actually played it himself. And that is Endling. Extinction is Forever. No shit. I think it's like a 2D sort of limbo-y kind of game. About a fox who's the last mother fox in the world, I think. And you have to guide your cubs to some kind of safe area. It's a punt, but it was very cheap. So yeah, I thought, sounds up my alley, I'll give it a go. And the rest of it's Switch. A couple of coding box games, because I've been sort of watching these not go down in price for the cartridge versions, so I just thought, screw it, I'll get the coding box ones. I'm not going to go into the politics of coding box like I always do, so just have to accept what it is. I got Octopath Traveler, which I have played it on Game Pass and I didn't really get on with it, but I've realised with RPGs, what it is the grind. I used to have a friend, I'm not mentioning any names, I used to have a friend back in school, and his idea, he'd call you up and say, do you want to come over for a bit, on a weekend, and you'd be like, yeah, we'll go over, we'll have a cool gaming day or something. And then he'd just park himself in front of the TV and play role-playing games, and you just sat and watched. So I've always found grinding sort of not boring for me so much, but I always get very self-conscious that it's boring for my wife, Susie. So I don't like to do it much on a big screen TV. If it's a big TV in the house, if she's just sat there watching, I don't really like to grind away on an RPG. I got very self-conscious playing through Bravely Default for that reason, because there was a lot of grinding going on towards the end of that. So I feel like on the Switch I'd get a lot more out of it if, I can sit and grind on a handheld at night and stuff like that while she's watching TV, or while she's asleep in bed, I'll just sit and grind away for a bit. So I thought I'll try Octopath Traveler again. When I get around to it, is a different story. I'll open this up as well because it's got some nice inner art. I just want to take that out because I've not actually redeemed it yet. I don't want to accidentally show that off to her. A nice inner box art for that one, which you don't often get on the coding box versions of games, actually. I'll keep that out. I'll just take it back downstairs because I might as well just redeem it on my Switch too, rather than my normal Switch. And the other coding box game I got, which doesn't seem to be, it's not really going up in price because that's up to about 50 to 60 quid now if you buy it, cartridge based. The coding box one was like 12 quid. This was a similar price and it's still around £40 odd to buy the cartridge, and that is Chrono Cross Radical Dreamers Edition. Never played Chrono Cross. Well, in fact, I have actually. I played it for about 20 minutes. The PS1 version. But this is obviously like a remaster, remake kind of thing. Another Square Enix RPG, which really... The Switch for me, I don't get a lot out of Nintendo first party games because, they're just not anything really for me. But the console is great for indie games and Square Enix RPGs. I've got so many Square RPGs on that system, it's great. And it's fun to just sit and, like I say, sit in bed and grind away. And so yeah, I love Chrono Trigger. Played through that first in my teens on a SNES emulator, and I have since played it on the DS, and I never played the PS1 version, but I've got a copy somewhere on the SNES, a Japanese copy, just to say I've got a copy. So yeah, Chrono Cross is one that I've been thinking about for a lot. And lastly, this was on a second sale on the Game Collection, the 20th anniversary sale, where they put a load of games down to 20 quid. And I also, because of all that lot, had a bunch of points on there as well, so I got a few quid knocked off it. And that is Dave the Diver Anniversary Edition, which I've been wanting to play for a while. I've heard a lot of people say good things about it. I couldn't believe it when now that I've been playing it. I've been playing it a lot. I've probably put 20 hours into it over the last week or so. It's fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. This comes with the Guilty Gear DLC because the physical version was published by Arc System Works. Down there we go. And that also means that the rest of the DLC couldn't be on the Anniversary Edition because it's all licensed to other people, and it also means that it's not going to last on the store for very long. But I did manage to pick it all up. There's some Dredge DLC. I've never played Dredge. But again, I've heard it's good, but I think it might be a bit too sort of horror-y for me. A bit serious, a bit depressing by the sounds of it. It's got the Guilty Gear DLC, which I said. It's got Godzilla DLC, and it's got Yakuza DLC / Like a Dragon DLC, which obviously I love. I love Yakuza. It adds like a sort of side-scrolling beat 'em up kind of mini game to it, which Yakuza and side-scrolling beat 'em ups take my money. So yeah, I love both of those things. So. And I found all that out after I bought this game. So, yeah, it's a game essentially where you're in like a day-night cycle, and in the daytime you're diving in the ocean, you're looking for fish and catching fish with your harpoon gun, and then at night time you run a sushi bar where you're the manager, but you're also acting as a waiter. So, your chef cooks up the food that you've caught in the daytime, and your job is to just deliver it. It's a little bit sort of, it's got shades of root beer tapper kind of thing. But instead of sliding the drinks down, you're sort of running backwards and forwards with the dishes. It's just a really nice sort of. It's got some of the best pixel art I've ever seen in a game. Some of the pixel art cutscenes are fantastic. You like pixel sprites over the top of 3D backgrounds, but the 3D backgrounds are like pixelated textures, like a sort of PS1 and Sega Saturn kind of thing. So it just gives it a really nice, like sort of modern retro look. It's kind of cozy, but also really challenging. I died a lot on this game, and when you die, it's almost a little bit roguelite-y. Like when you die on a diving phase, you'll lose everything you've caught apart from one item, which you can choose. You can choose which item you keep, but you can only keep that one item, and the rest of it's gone. The Dredge DLC, because I've got all the DLC. The Dredge and the Godzilla DLCs are free, but I cannot stress they're not going to last long. They are getting delisted soon. The Yakuza DLC was like £6, but I got it half price. The Guilty Gear DLC on the thing is literally just sort of it's an extra song for the rhythm mini game that you get. There's a load of mini games in this as well. One of them's like a sort of Beat Saber style rhythm game. It's just like I think it's Maze theme from Guilty Gear for that, and then you get a thing to put in your bar that plays music and it makes Guilty Gear characters appear to buy food off you. Other than that, nothing really different. The Dredge DLC is not great either. It's just sometimes at night there'll be a red mist appear and you can go and hunt for mutated fish. I've only done it once and I got absolutely fucked up by like a shark with 6 mouths or something. I don't know, it's all stuff like that fish from The Simpsons. But the Godzilla DLC is great because basically Godzilla just appear. He's been injured in a fight and he takes refuge in this lagoon where you live, and then another kaiju turns up to fight him, which is a big lobster, and you have to fight the other kaiju while he rests, and then that threatens to destroy your restaurant, so the Godzilla rises up and you play as Godzilla and you fight the lobster guy. It's a lot of fun, and the Godzilla model looks great in that kind of modern retro style. And the Yakuza DLC is all about fighting eco-terrorists. Just one night you're in your restaurant and Ichiban Kasuga from the last 2 Yakuza games, last 2 mainline ones anyway, and the bartender, who is, I can't remember his name in the old Yakuza games, but he's an ex-Yakuza from the older games, and now he runs a bar in Hawaii, I think is he the one in Hawaii? But yeah, he runs a bar and he befriends your characters, and those two just arrive at your bar, at your restaurant, and you have to make them a drink and stuff. And then the next day you find Ichiban swimming and some eco-terrorist map are trying to catch a dolphin. And obviously Ichiban doesn't like this, so you and Ichiban go after the terrorists, and I think, like I said, it comes into like a side-scrolling, like Streets of Rage style belt action beat-em-up game, which I'm currently just about to do, and I can't wait because I love belt action scrolling fighting games. And like I said, I love Yakuza too, so absolute no-brainer. But I'm near the end of the main game. Like I said, I've done 3 of the DLCs, I'm about to do the 4th. Can't recommend this enough. It's such a fantastic game. I would say, in talking to Susie the other day about like my Mount Rushmore of like cozy games, and this is definitely, it's just worked its way right up there. It's like Stardew Valley, Coffee Talk, this, and I don't know the other one. Honestly, I can't choose. If it could easily be Animal Crossing, it could easily be The Sims, but I can't think of the fourth one, to be honest. I'd like it to be another pixelated one, just because I love that graphic style. But anyway, yeah, I rambled a lot, haven't I? I'm so rambling. Don't know whether to stick this under pickups or waffle. I just don't know. I forgot to mention it, but once again, I'm going to take this stuff out because I haven't got the code yet. No inner box art in Chrono Cross, because they don't tend to for the code in a box versions. But the inner box art for Dave the Diver is a pretty cool alternate cover. Not sure if I like it better than the actual one or not, so I don't know if I'm going to swap it. But it's still pretty cool. And that's it. I'm sorry for rambling on so much, but it's been a while since I've been able to just sit and talk games. So yeah, as promised, I will try and do something different at some point, if anyone even cares. And yeah, if you like what I do, then please consider sticking around. If you don't like what I do, then so be it. It's your prerogative. And I'll see you next time. Bye.